I got it. It's a brand new road in the Ford that I was driving.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the City of Walthourville's council meeting, March the 25th, 2025. Madam, Ms. Moss, can you do the roll call, please?
Ms. Sarah B. Hayes,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Sarah L. Lovett,
Present.
Councilman Mitchell Boston,
Present.
Councilman Patrick Underwood,
Here.
Councilmember Richard Kelly,
Here.
Councilmember Robert Dodd.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. Can we have our invocation, please? Pastor Hayes.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Good afternoon.
Let us bow our heads for a word of prayer. Gracious and Heavenly Father, we are thankful and honored to be here on today for this official meeting of the Walthourville City Council. Thank you for an awesome day. We thank you for many wonderful blessings that you bestowed upon us. And now, God, as we enter into this gathering, we ask that you will bless this meeting and the proceedings that go forth. Bless these leaders, Lord God, that you call into this position in such a time as this, and give them wisdom and guidance and understanding and peace and grace and mercy. Allow it to exude from them as they take care of the business of this city and these people that you put in their care, Lord God. We give you honor and we give you praise for what you're doing and for what you're going to do in helping to allow Walthourville to continue to grow and be the great city that we know that it can be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the
United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That's something. You just enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm just patriotic.
Yeah. Okay. Council, we need a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight.
I make a motion that we adopt the May 25th City Council agenda.
The motion has been made by Councilwoman Kelly, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem
No.
Lovett.
The dates are wrong, Mayor.
I make a motion that we accept the March 25th council meeting and council agenda.
That's what I thought.
That's today. It's the 11th.
No, you getting ahead of
Oh, the
yourself.
agenda. I'm sorry. I heard.
All right, let's do this
I
again.
apologize.
No problem. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda for March the 25th?
I make a motion that we approve March 25th council agenda.
Second.
Motion has been made for approval by Councilwoman Kelly, seconded by Councilman Boston. Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Motion carried. Now, can I get a motion to adopt the minutes from March the 11th regular council meeting?
I make a motion we adopt the minutes from March 11th regular meeting.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. One opposed. Mayor Pro Tem Lovett. Can I get a motion approved? Can I get a motion to approve executive session minutes from March the 11th?
I make a motion that we approve March 11th executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. One opposed, Mayor Pro Tem Lovett. Motion carried. Presentation. Everyone was invited to come to City Hall today at 5, where we did a presentation for Mrs. Ivy. Back a while ago in January, she was instrumental in saving the property over in the subdivision where she lives of her neighbors from catching on fire. One of the neighbors' yards had caught on fire. The neighbor was unaware, And Miss Ivy alerted not only the neighbor, jumped over the fence, contacted all the neighbors, contacted the fire department, got the lady to come to the door out of the house and all that good stuff, which ended up saving not only her neighbor's property, but the other neighbor's property. There was some damage, and she did end up getting the fire department out there and even got the water hose and helped put out some of the fire. So she received the heroism certificate today. We also have some recognitions from our police department and our fire department for a safety award for this as well. So Chief Maxwell,
Greetings, everybody. We apologize. We were next door, but we had to scurry out to go handle another situation. So I was actually there that day. Miss Ivy called me, and I'm excited to present this to Miss Ivy. Like the mayor said, you got to give people their flowers while they're here to receive them, and Miss Ivy deserves much more than what we're going to give her today. But this is just a small token of appreciation. She called me in a panic on the phone, and she said, "Chief, my neighbor's yard is on fire. Breathing heavy pain." I said, "Just how you hang up and call 911." And she did, and we right there on the jurisdictional line of the city limits of Walthourville and Long County. But being in the business of people and not calls, we don't delay of where it's at, whose boundary it is. So we came over there. Miss Ivy was hand on the knee, and I said, "Well, you get an ambulance out here time, you gonna make it." And so the reason why this is important is because what we do, police and fire, that's just what we do. But when the average citizen steps up above and beyond to take ownership of their community and participate in things that they're not normally responsible for, I think it deserves some recognition. So we have a coin that we rarely give at the fire department. You got to do something pretty nice to get one of these coins. And it comes along with the letter. And we'd like to take this second. I'm gonna present my coin, and Chief Reed's gonna speak. But Ms. Ivy, this is absolutely my pleasure to do this for you. And I hope this is the last time, because like I said, I just get so excited about this kind of stuff. So. No, man. No, I'm not gonna read it because I'm gonna put Ms. Ivy on the spot again. So Ms. Ivy, if you would please accept this from her.
Thank you so much.
I think Chief has spoken for
Flash it this way.
how the police department also feels for Ms. Ivy and for the act of heroism that she had. So we would also like to present her with the police department's chip from the police department.
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Did you have anything to say, Miss Ivy?
It happened in January and I kind of like threw it out of my mind, but the house was vacant and I know that the family lives in Miami and her entire yard was burned because of a fire that got out of control from the neighbor over, and it scorched the whole back. It had come, and you know, we have big lots, and it had came and scorched the whole back of the house, and it had started moving to both the right and the left. So I'm so overwhelmed because we just had something. They gave me a beautiful big plaque, but my neighbors are all elderly people. They're all in their 80s. Everybody was asleep. It was a Sunday. I was on my way to Savannah to take my mom to church. And I saw the white smoke, but then I forgot something and I went back in the house, and when I came back, it was more white smoke. And I know that there's nobody there. So I just stopped, and when I stopped, fire was everywhere. And it was just spreading because it was dry and it was windy. And the person that started it, the whole back of the house is scorched. And the lady didn't even know. Her grandson did. The whole back of their house was scorched. So I just jumped out, put the car in park, got this neighbor on the left because it was headed to where I know they keep their gas. And they winterize everything. And so we had to cut everything loose and get the hoses. And her husband did call 911. But it was very overwhelming because it was then spreading out to the other neighbors who I know already had hers burned. Because they're about to burn her brand new fence. So it was something, my heart was racing like So sometimes there is good things that happen with bad tragedy, but nobody got hurt. So then I just went to each of the neighbors that was affected, and then my other neighbor across the street, the white family, him and his son was in the backyard doing something. They came over and got some other hoses going, and the fire department finally did come, and yes, I was out of breath. So thank y'all, I appreciate everything you did.
Thank you. And hopefully this will encourage other citizens to, look out for your neighbors and help out. Cause it could have been much worse. Okay, on the agenda, City of Walthourville, training and travel. I've received emails from council members who want to know about staying in a hotel in Savannah when they go to training. I personally had stated that Savannah's 45 miles away. Training is like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'll let council speak on this, but my concern was paying for hotels when we already have a limited budget. But the emails I received from the council stating that they don't see why they can't stay up there. I'll let council speak on that tonight. Who wants to start off?
I will start off. Yeah. The reason, and it's 49 miles from the city hall to Savannah, because the training is at the trade center. And so you would have to cross the Talmadge Bridge in order to get over there to obtain the training. And the reason I recommend that we stay overnight, because that is taxing on the individuals to travel from Savannah from Walthourville to Savannah for 5 days. And it's taxing. I know it's taxing for me because I stopped going to a lot of the trains because of the amount of travel that you have to do. I only request to go in January and June, and that's when, if you're gonna get an award, you would get it at the January or the February, January or June train. And it is taxing to do that for 5 days. And so I recommend that the council be allowed to go to those 2, if not the others, and stay overnight.
Any further discussion?
I'm all for the training. Don't have a problem with it, but I think we should have a policy, 50 miles. If it's less than 50 miles, you can transport, carpool, whatever. But if it's over 50 miles, then I understand the hotel room. But I think we should go 50 miles, and then they can stay overnight. Due to the city's financial, it just doesn't look right. We're going to Savannah, where people go every day, drive back and forth to work. I just don't see the need to stay in a hotel over the weekend. Not under 50 miles. And when we get to carpool, we meet right here in carpool. It doesn't take it takes the burden off of one person driving.
Further discussion?
Well, in my opinion, because we're going 5 days straight, that's why I emailed saying stay in the hotel, back and forth.
I guess the main question is the cost included in the budget. Isn't there a carve out in the budgets for travel?
I was looking at the old budget. I was looking at the budget a while ago for meetings. I believe we budgeted $50,000. I can pull it up right here. looking at it. Like I said, just because it's 5 days straight.
So my understanding of the, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding of the policy as it exists now and what the common practice of the city has been in the past is that y'all budgeted for folks to go to Savannah for this training. So I think if y'all don't want to do that, y'all need to, pass a policy as the one that, like the one Councilman Dodd outlined.
Right. I don't think we have a policy. That's why I chimed in on the emails. I think we need to establish a policy, whether it be 50 miles, 70 miles, whatever. I just think a policy needs to be established because there's never been a policy on travel back and forth to Savannah, but it was always said that you couldn't stay overnight in Savannah. If that's the policy, it just needs to be put in writing somewhere. We just need to establish a policy per se.
But y'all did used to stay overnight in Savannah, didn't you?
No.
Yes, we did.
Oh.
Yes, we did. Mayor Craig initiated the policy where it was, if it's 49 miles or less, then we could stay. But the problem was, they said there was no money. But if we allocate money to go to Atlanta or Savannah, which is the two conferences that I always like to attend, and then we miss out on other interaction with the other council members if we don't go to that. And you learn a lot by going to those receptions and things. And that's how you find out what's going on in other municipalities.
I think that, honestly, I'm a little, due to the finances of the city, my plan was to just buy a hotel myself and just stay there. I don't feel like carpooling and driving back and forth either, but, due to the finances of the city, I don't mind just getting a hotel myself.
I've done that, and I never got compensated for paying for me going to those conferences. And the reason I did it is because I wanted to get my certification for being in municipal government. And then you meet other people, and you meet new people, you meet older people that have been on council for a long period of time. So it's not about, and the reason they stopped us from going when I first got on council with Mayor Craig is because people would go and visit relatives rather than going to their training. Now, you can check my record. I go to the trainings and I attend the new classes that they have. And if there's a class that I felt like I needed to take over, I would do that as well.
We understand the city finances. We understand the need for the training as well. You voted to increase the training budget, moved it up to $50,000. If you vote to do the hotel rooms, then this, of course, is gonna come out of the training budget. But like I say, I just emphasize right now the financial situation that we're in. And I just look at the situation where we already are in a financial dilemma. How it's going to be if we take on all these hotel expenses when we still have other city bills to pay. And I do know it was put into the budget, but like every budget, a budget is just an example. You have to have the funds in there. So if you, as a council, vote for this, then we're going to go ahead attorney and draft the 50-mile thing, 50-mile radius for travel, because we need to have this and stop every time, coming back to this same thing. So,
I guess it would be 50 miles from City Hall.
yes. Most places start from the workplace.
Right.
All right, council, so what do you want to do tonight?
What's the mileage from City Hall to the trade center? Because you're saying 50, but no one has given us a definitive mileage for the trade center.
And we also nobody's registered, so we don't know who's gonna be there all week or not either, so.
39. And we could pull it up on the GPS now, and how much that can see it all.
From here to the trade center.
$49.5 miles.
That's less than 50.
The 0.5 will put it over.
Well, y'all could say 55 miles if the purpose of this is to avoid going to Savannah overnight.
Was you waiting to make the determination?
Check it, is it?
I think I've got 50 miles.
Okay, so council, if you want, we need to go ahead and have have it put in writing to the mileage as far as what will be paid. I mean, what you can stay, whether it's Savannah or where, for training. It has to be at least 50 miles.
I'd say 55.
55
There's a
miles.
question about whether Savannah falls into that or not, and it sounds like the purpose of y'all's resolution is to prohibit overnight stays in Savannah being paid for by the city.
I would say 50 with exceptions. I mean, because who would say 7 years from now, the city can't afford to send somebody to training that's 51 miles or 50 miles? Or are you just gonna change it when the city gets financially stable?
We can revisit it, but for tonight,
Yeah, and I mean, listen, if y'all don't wanna have a long-term, I have no position on this. If y'all don't wanna have a long-term policy on this, Councilwoman Kelly, I would just say that y'all vote this year not to have an overnight in Savannah. And if you feel like you can do it next year, come back next year and do it. But if we decide to have a policy of 50 miles, we're gonna spend the next 7 years talking about whether Hutchinson Island is 49 and a half or 50.5 miles away, which seems sort of silly.
so council, you need to decide. You want the policy to state 55 miles
I make
for
a
this
motion.
year.
I make a motion that we restrict the travel policy to 55 miles for overnight stay for 2 years and 1 day, effective today.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, show of hand. Motion carried. Okay. Thank
Was
you.
anyone opposed?
One. Okay, city rates. With this, what I'm talking about, we already know the, talking about the tap-in fees. tap-in fees need to go up. We have new developers and we have developers wanting to come on. And right now, our tap-in fees are a little over $5,000. And what I propose with new developers coming on, because the other ones have already been approved and are doing construction in Walthourville, I am proposing that we increase our tap-in fees. That'll bring more revenue into the city of Walthourville. So currently it's a little over $5,400, $5,470, I believe. So I'm proposing that we increase that, and I'm bringing it before council so you can decide. What I propose is no less than $8,500 per tap.
Now that's a little action.
We need to go ahead with this because, and the reason it's coming up. I've looked at, and you can pull it up as well. I've looked at some of the other tap-in fees at other places, and as we know, Walthourville is growing. The tap-in fees, like I said, is a little over $5,000. We need to increase those tap-in fees. Right now, if we have emergencies out here with the water and things, we're barely getting by. So we need to look at increasing our tap-in fees. That will help with our getting our new meters and the things that we need for the lift stations. So council, we need to discuss this.
Where did you said 8,000 is what you want?
8,500, yes.
Who was charging that?
There were some cities that I pulled up. I met with the engineers, and that was another recommendation.
So what is Hinesville?
I don't recall. But I met with Hinesville as well.
I have a question. Are the municipalities that you got these quotes from, are they the same size as
Yes.
Walthourville, or they are larger than Walthourville?
I pulled up municipalities that are the same size, some smaller, some bigger. And what we do as far as tap-in fees is just barely the minimum. It's the minimum. Like I say, I met with Hinesville already, and I've met with 2 sets of engineers, and their recommendation as well is that we increase our tap-in fees.
I understand the increase. What I'm asking is, how are you coming at the 85,000?
From talking with the engineers.
I mean, 8,500. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Talking with the engineers and looking online at tap-in fees for other municipalities.
Why would you not even be a municipality comparison?
Well, we can pull it up there. I looked online for that, and that's where I got it. The majority of my information, like I said, I talked with the engineers, and it is their recommendation that we go up with.
Who did you speak with, so I won't be talking to the same people? Maybe I need to answer that question.
You can.
I
As a
can't.
matter of fact, you can talk to who you like to talk to, and I will give you the
Mayor,
notes.
I'm not trying to be funny.
I-
All I'm trying to find out is where we stand here in the city of Walthourville.
Okay, this is where we stand in the city of Walthourville. Our tap-in fees are $5,478. When we have issues out here in Walthourville with our water and our sewer, we have to call in people, and we barely have what we need to take care of those bills when we have issues. I spoke with the engineers. The tap-in fee increase will cover new subdivisions coming out here. They will pay more than what we're charging right now. That will help us have a fund balance for in case of emergencies and to take care of what issues, water issues that we will have. And to cover us when we have to go out and dig because we have water or sewer issues.
So right now, for a 2-inch water tap in Walthourville is $27.50, and a sewer tap is $45.70. And in Hinesville, I think the total is $62.50. For a 2-inch, for a 3-inch is $12,720.
That's almost like a 40% increase. I would like to table this and do some more research on this and have some numbers better than what we got now.
When we table it, we gotta address it in this meeting.
Now, y'all can come back and address it, and if you table it, you can come back and address it in the next meeting. We can just put it back on the agenda.
That's not what we told the parliamentary class. They said if we table it, we have to address it again in this meeting. I'm not trying to.
Well, I mean, we don't have to vote on it tonight. We don't have to vote on anything tonight.
Discussion, council members? And I understand you want more information. I do understand that, and I appreciate that.
But if you voted tonight and you didn't feel like you had sufficient information, you would just vote not to change it tonight. You wouldn't do the vote. So, I don't think we're gonna get in trouble for not voting one way or another tonight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Further discussion, council members?
I agree with that. I think we should just come back to it once we get numbers in front of us.
All right, can I get a motion?
I don't think we have to have a motion.
To table?
I don't think y'all can. I mean,
We'll
if
just
y'all,
say no action tonight.
yeah, y'all don't have to take any action tonight.
Okay, moving along to the next one, auditor update. As you know, because of our audits are behind, and I'm not putting you on the spot, Councilwoman, yo. When you looked at last year, you looked at getting a grant. And we also talked to the bank about a loan. But when you looked at getting a grant for us last year, we couldn't get anything because our audits were behind. Well, we still can't get anything right now because we're behind on our audits. And the state has already said that we're not eligible for any financial assistance because we are behind. Do we know, are we closer to getting someone that we could
I've sent the information out on those two auditors that I've gotten quotes from, and again, I'm still waiting on the auditor from Brunswick. I mean, we can move forward with the two quotes. They're basically the same price as what, you know, I've been told shopping around. And that's anywhere between 12 and 16,000 per year. But
For each audit.
right, for each audit per year, yeah.
and did they say when they could start and how long it would take?
The company in Brunswick, in Jessup, they can start as soon as possible. He didn't give a deadline on when he would finish with all four, and I'm gonna say 4.5 because we're in 2024. But he said they can start. It's whenever we get the information over to him, whenever we're ready. But he didn't, say how long it will take. I can reach back out to him and ask like a time frame. And the company that you and I both, I got the information from you, which we got the information from Eon, was Jackson & Jackson. I don't know how long it'll take them either. I haven't reached out to them. I just got the information that you gave me on them. And their price was pretty much the same as the auditors in Jessup.
What's the company in Jessup?
Campbell. You know them?
No.
You said Campbell?
Yeah, hold on. It's in you
But
guys'
that
email.
doesn't mean anything that I don't know.
Are you able to get some written information from them so that? when you
I
come back-
forwarded already to you.
I mean,
guys.
for the council, for the,
What other information do you need from them?
well, if they say anything about when they can start, that would
Okay.
be good.
I mean, he said he can start when we say we're ready to, sign the contract with them. But I will ask how long it will take. And then I will reach out to Jackson. I think the email that you sent me has a phone number in it. I'll reach out to them and ask them the same, how long would it take?
It's not Campbell Osteen from Harrison Company, is it?
Yes,
it
that's
is.
them.
All right. Yeah, I'm familiar with Harrison Company.
And, I've had a couple of conversations with them. They're on board. They're ready to start.
Okay. So council, do you want to see more information, or can we go ahead and select? Do we need an RFP for this?
What's been the process so far?
We haven't done.
When I went on the Department of Accounts and Audits website, and I sent this in an email, they have a whole structure as to how we are supposed to acquire a CPA for auditing. And they even have a sample request for proposal on their website. And it's their resource. They have a lot
I
of.
mean, I think according to our policy, we're supposed to do an RFP, so I mean, if we haven't done one, I mean, coupled with what Councilman Boston just said, I think.
Has the city ever done an RFP for audits?
If not, we.
No, but we changed our bidding processes in the past, a couple of years.
Okay.
I think
And we would
need
use
to-
the same person forever before that, well, as long as I was here before
Right.
that, to do the,
Right. The company in Statesboro done them for
Yeah.
years.
Well,
but I
making
guess
sure-
it was, go ahead. I'm
Making
sorry.
sure we do things correctly and legally is my concern.
Well, so can we do that between now and the next meeting?
I think we should look at, take it. Yeah,
I'll resend the
how
email.
long is it going to, we'll figure out how long it's gonna take, because we really need to get on.
I mean, it shouldn't take those accountants long to send over a.
So with that being said, since an RFP is gonna be put out, I don't need to reach back out to them, correct?
Yes.
'Cause they're gonna have to
You're the point of
answer-
contact for them, since you've already started the process. Between you and, our city clerk, we should be able to get this done.
Right, but my question is, since we're putting an RFP out, there's no point in me calling them.
Well, you
Because-
can send the RFP to those people.
Okay,
And we have to publish it in the paper.
yes.
Okay. So we need a motion to submit the RFP for us to obtain our auditors for year 21, 22, 23, and we're coming up on 24.
I'll make a motion that we submit a RFP to obtain an auditor,
Second.
and I will also send the RFP to the 3 auditors that I have reached out to.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Motion carried. Okay, now we're down to, thank you, we're down to our department comments. The water department, working well. They had work this weekend. We had an issue at one of the lift stations, but they successfully took care of that, so everything is working well with the water department. Fire department.
Reports from the fire department is as follows. Since our last meeting, we responded to 24 total calls for service, 18 of them having been medical, 1 motor vehicle accident, 2 fires, and 3 miscellaneous fire calls. In our responses over the last 2 weeks, we would just like to remind all of our citizens and visitors to Walthourville to just try and do your best to monitor fire conditions. Georgia Forestry puts out a fire weather calendar and a drought calendar as well. We repost and share those things on our social media, so if you're interested where to find them, you can find them on our Facebook page. But just keep in mind that things have been a little bit dry, also been a little bit windy. Fire conditions have been very favorable for the event of fire. So just be cognizant of what we're dealing with weather-wise. However, I will say that Walthourville and the city of Elmhurst as well has been very fortunate over the last few weeks to have very few fires. So we appreciate everybody that is complying, and that keeps everybody safe. That concludes my report.
Any questions?
Just for information purposes only, can you tell the citizens what's required before they start a fire in our area?
So the council approved the update of our ordinances. So we pretty much aligned our ordinances with Georgia Forestry. So if you're unaware where to find the information, you can seek it out on our website. It's located in City Hall. And you can also just get on the Georgia Forestry website. Typically, if forestry is denying any burning in the area, then we typically follow the recommendation of Georgia Forestry. There are a few parameters where you'll have to obtain a burn permit from the city or from forestry, but that doesn't usually affect the regular everyday citizen. Just remember, the rule of thumb is if it's man-made, you cannot burn it. You can only burn Class A combustibles, ordinary combustibles, paper, things of that nature. If it's man-made at all, it cannot be burned in the city of Walthourville. There is no permit for it. There is no allowance for it. So a lot of questions that we have is cardboard boxes. People get a lot of packages, they want to burn cardboard because it's considered paper. It's paper until they print on it. Once they print, which is hard to find a box with no print on it, is considered trash. You cannot burn trash at all. Anything man-made or composite cannot be burned. That's just the general rule of thumb. Does that answer your question, Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you.
Any other questions for the fire department?
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Police department.
Afternoon, Mayor, Council, and list for great citizens of Walthourville. Bring a report for the police department. Looking at the new CAD system that we have, it says that since our last meeting, we've had 239 calls or records in the system. We've had 23 incident reports that were required to be written. With that, we've had 4 vehicle crashes. Just bringing everybody's attention to Thursday night. This Thursday, we'll be doing our first neighborhood watch since several years ago. At the time we listed was 6:30 for neighborhood watch, so that'll be this Thursday at 6:30 be neighborhood watch. If you have any questions that we have.
That's gonna be here.
This one here at police department at 6:30.
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Do we have any citizen comments? Okay, all right. Mayor's update. As you know, East Floss was on the ballot and it passed. T-Splosh is supposed to come back on the ballot because the first time it did not pass. And it's supposed to, they're looking at putting it back on the ballot for November. Several of our projects are held up right now. T-Splosh didn't pass, so the county doesn't have the funds to continue doing some of the projects that not just Walthourville has, but other municipalities have. So we're looking for the T-Splosh to come back on the ballot and in November, okay? We're doing a first time ever combined city cleanup. We're combining with the city of Flemington. The date is April the 26th, and we're giving it a theme, autism awareness. Anybody would like to help out or participate, whether it's council, citizens, employees, you're more than welcome. The theme, like I said, is autism awareness. We will have entertainment out there for the youth. We will have people out there who will talk about autism, and we welcome everyone to come out and have a good time that day. We will be splitting up our groups, going to different routes to start the cleanup. The cleanup will start from 9 to approximately 11. Then we'll meet back in Jardine Frazier Park for the rest of the festivities. As you know, this is year 250, the 250 anniversary, and we're looking to double the amount of cleanups that we do for Liberty County, for Walthourville. So we look forward to you coming out to participate and to help with that. We will also, I'm not leaving out the Easter egg hunt when it's council member Underwood's turn to talk. He will brief you on that as well. Also, April the 12th, which is a Saturday, is Earth Day. Earth Day will be held at Bryan Commons Park. I will, as always, be out there with a booth. We welcome citizens and everyone to come up there for that. There will be tree giveaways, which you have to sign up for on Keep Liberty Beautiful site. There will be plenty of giveaways, plenty of entertainment, vendors out there as well with different groups. So that will start from 10 to 2 Saturday, April the 12th at Bryan Commons. And this is always an annual event, okay? So you're welcome to come out and enjoy the festivities or help or just participate. Those are my updates for now, yes. We will have elected official comments. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Boston.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff, and citizens. I've been looking through this master billing registry for the past couple of weeks, and I have to give some updates on that. The one that I was looking at was from the month of February, last month, and what I found, in my opinion, is concerning, not just from a financial standpoint, but from a standpoint of fairness, consistency, and accountability. In February alone, for sanitation, we lost over $10,000 in revenue due to missed or incorrect billing. And that's just what I can clearly track. Just a brief snapshot, there were over 1,000 homes that weren't charged the admin fee, which cost us $3,131. Bulk pickup charges were missed for 1,084 accounts, which cost another $3,252. Fire fees were not applied to many accounts, 235, which caused a loss of $5,875. And then, like I said during the last meeting, that there were, over 250 additional trash cans that are in use throughout the city, but none of those are being billed. We are having an issue with accounts that aren't being paid, delinquent accounts. I counted, and the metric that I used to count it was accounts that were either owed at least $300 on their bill.
Talking about water?
I'm talking about just the
Overall.
this card here.
Okay.
There's, like I said, in order to be factored into the numbers that I calculated, they were either 60 days past due or they owed a minimum of $300. And we have $52,525.09 in delinquent sanitation accounts. And some of which haven't been paid since May of 2024. And I've seen balances as high as $3,000. And apparently, based on what I'm seeing, these properties are still receiving full services. Trash, pick up sewer, water, and everything. That's not sustainable, and it's not fair to the residents who pay on time. Essentially, we're rewarding non-payment and asking the responsible residents to carry the weight. So on our own, on our utility bills on the back, it says that cutoffs will occur on all balances over $35. But we have accounts hundreds and even thousands of dollars past due. As far as Allenhurst is concerned, I counted about 255 parcels in Allenhurst. Our master billing registry shows 223. And I know that was brought up before, that some of them aren't receiving a water bill, and that accounts for some of that. But even as far as for the fire fee is concerned, in Allenhurst, I counted 29 properties that are actually getting billed for in Allenhurst. Ultimately, it's not about pointing fingers.
Getting billed who should not be billed?
No, these are people who are just getting bills. Like out of 255, well, the total is 255 parcels, but out of the 223 that we have, only 29 of them, based on what I see, are getting billed. And there's about 32 that they're just not getting billed at all, but if there's a fire, God forbid, the chief and his people have to respond for it. So essentially, they're getting free fire services that would be courtesy of the citizens of Walthourville if they had to respond. So we have definitely some work to do in order to get these numbers under control. I'm suggesting that we start enforcing our policy about the accounts that are past due, based on what's on the back of our card, and that we issue a notice to all delinquent accounts and offer them some type of payment plan if they're unable to pay the whole thing. And that we need to get with QS1 and correct all admin, yard, and boat services to ensure that these accounts are accurate. And I would like for us to hold a work session to establish and stick to a consistent enforcement collection policy. I think that we need to restore order and fairness to our billing process. And every dollar that's collected goes where it's intended. And we can't continue to go down this road, people. And the numbers don't lie. And, that's my report.
Thank you. I have spoken with Patrick, and I had requested that you come over and sit down with him as well. With the, as far as the people that are behind, I looked at some of that today, and we do have people who are paying. But we do need to get a handle on delinquency. And I do know that, and I've looked at some of the accounts, and as late as today. And some people aren't able to pay the full amount due to different circumstances. But I do agree that we need to look stronger at emphasizing on-time payments, which we do. But if they don't have the money, they don't have the money. But we're looking at, we can also look at how further that they can get back on track with this. When you go from 2-income household with 3 kids, like one of them that I looked today, and you have loss of one of those incomes, it's hard. But like I say, when we started this thing with the trash, which we were talking about originally, we knew it was gonna take some time to get that. So Patrick is over there going through each one of the household information. And I know some of that stuff is wrong because, as you stated, some people have 2 trash cans, but it's not showing up. I have had 2 trash cans for years and paid for 2 trash cans, and all of a sudden, there's an error with my stuff, and we're tracking it down to see. And I know I intentionally don't mislead or do anything wrong. So, as they stated before, when we started all of this, he's going through this line by line, name by name, and he is looking at this. So we will have, at our next meeting, we'll have another report on the progress that we're making on this.
Mayor,
Thank you.
Mayor, one more thing. Like this list was the list that was submitted to Atlantic Waste for the properties that have more than 1 trash can.
Mm-hmm.
And as of when I went through February, none of these accounts were getting billed for a second trash can. And about a year ago, I asked Mr. Golphin how many homes that have 2 trash cans are paying for them, and he told me 2. And when I looked on the master billing registry last month, it was still 2. And even those 2 aren't on this list,
Okay.
you know?
Like I said, we're gonna look at that and we'll make sure that we get things straight on this. Was there anything else? Go ahead.
Councilman Lawson,
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
have we been able to track the receptacles that are at the different homes?
I have a list right there, and Sam got with me today, Sam with Atlantic Waste, and they're also doing an audit. So they're just gathering information now. And I'm gonna give him a copy. I'm gonna put it on the Excel spreadsheet, and I'm gonna give him a copy of that as well, because there's a lot of discrepancies, you know, and it's just a lot of people with multiple trash cans, but when you go through the master billing registry, only 2 people are getting billed for an additional trash can, and even those 2 aren't getting billed enough.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
As you find the discrepancy, are we tracking that in our system?
I sent
Because there's no need to collect it if it's not being corrected.
Patrick, I sent Mr. Golphin, sorry, Councilman. I sent him, it was 4 emails. Because it was so much data that I couldn't send it in one. You know, it was a lot of data. And I sent it to him, so he's aware.
And I assume you're confident that your data is right, but I would also assume that your data is probably not comprehensive, right? I mean, you know who you've identified that has 2 who aren't paying for it, but I'm sure there are more out there, right?
Yes, sir. I believe that because, you know, there's people who keep their trash cans in their backyard. So they wouldn't have been on that list because I can't see it. It was only from what I could see visually from the road. You know, so that's not accounting people whose house might be way back there, or, you know, they might keep their trash in their garage, or I'm sure it's more than 250 out there.
And I'm pretty sure there is more than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said only 2 residents are accounted for, am I correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, I can ride down Wilder Road and see that there's more than 2 garbage cans at a resident.
Yes, ma'am. And that's
So, what measures are in place to correct that?
well, for one, we have to initially a year ago, I gave Public Works a directive to pick up all additional trash cans. And they started. I don't know who told them to stop. They stopped at some point. I don't know. And that decision last year alone cost us over $160,000. Just in, when you factor in that Atlantic Waste picked up 326 trash cans. They just did that at the end of the year. And you factor in that 250. I mean, when you do the math on what we could have brought in from that, I mean, you're in the six figures, you know? And it's not a coincidence that the amount that we owed the county was in the six figures, you know? And then when you factor in that not only are people not being billed properly, but we're not collecting. You know, and you know, look, there's some people who I know are, you know, down on their luck or they can't afford it, but that's not everyone that's on that list. Like, it was businesses, it was
And that's the problem I
rental
have.
properties.
That's the problem I have.
Wait, one at a time.
That's the problem I have. Looking at the list, I'm like, we're gonna give somebody who owes $1,000 another 30, 15 days. I mean, they should have been cut off a long time ago. I appreciate Councilman Boston for doing this because he didn't have to do this. But I was just amazed looking at $500, $600, $700, $800, $2,000, $3,000. They should have been cut off a long time ago. And we all have families. I mean,
Right, and this doesn't have anything to do with the trash. You're most
Yeah.
likely looking at
I know
water.
the water. Yeah, that right there.
So-
That's the issue. We need. I mean, I don't even know why we talking about it. They should have been cut off a long time ago. So
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, there's some people that, you know, they might be in the bind.
that's like I'm gonna call Coastal Power Company, Georgia Power. Hey, I ain't got it. I can't. They're not gonna do. They're gonna cut you off.
So is it that we're not disconnecting water services
No.
anymore?
I don't know. Are we doing that, man?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are we not disconnecting water services anymore?
Yes, we do disconnect water services. I don't have that information in front of me, if it's water or what the actual bill is, but I will get that information. And like I said, I looked at it, the latest was today. And I've seen where people are making payments, they aren't making their full payment, some of them. I didn't look at every account, but we will look at this closer and we will come up with a strategy and notify the people. We will notify the people they need to go ahead and pay this.
So as long as
Period.
we're making payments, we won't get cut off, that's what we're
That
saying?
was the practice that I saw. Everybody is not getting cut off.
Who made that?
But as long as we make payments, we don't get cut off.
Yes,
May
ma'am.
I speak? In October 2024, this council stated that they did not want us to do disconnect the late fee. And
That was just for January.
I don't think
it was in that time not to do. So what we've done in the office, that's what I can attest to, is that the people with bills, they are constantly, they are called and they are making payments on these bills. But we were told, and I think it was in October, when this came before this body, and a motion was made that we would not do any disconnect, nor charge any late fees for anything. And then remember, you all moved the due date when it was due, the late fee date.
I remember we did that.
Yes.
Based
Right, but it
on
was only for a certain period of
one at a
time.
time, one at a time.
It was
The
you all
numbers-
getting-
So it's our fault that
No,
they
no,
got
I
$6,000 balance.
It's Councilman Underwood, I didn't say it was you all.
Oh.
No, sir. I just
So-
said
But
council.
some of
We
these
took
should have
our
been
directions
disconnected
from-
before we
October.
put that in place though.
Yeah, some of these balances predate October. Some of these haven't been paid for years, like a long
So
time,
we don't
months.
disconnect for that?
Like, this didn't start, someone doesn't get $1,000 balance starting in October.
Okay, well, what
Let's
you
take
know,
it from the day. What do y'all, you are the council, what do you want to do as far as these disconnects go?
Right,
Because
but this was before
hold up one
October.
second. This was put in place, so we need to go ahead and do your motion to fix this so we can go ahead and move forward with this.
I think anything over 300 need to be cut off.
I mean, well, I gave my recommendation. I think we should stick to what's on the bill. $35.
Read what it
That's
says. Read what it says on the back of it.
It says cutoff will be done for all balances of $35 or more on the 5th of each month. No cutoff notices will be sent out. Service will not be restored until the bill has been paid in full.
Yeah, from a legal standpoint, y'all don't need to say $300 or don't do cutoffs or don't do late fees or whatever. The policy needs to be what we're putting out to the people.
And it's an
And
ordinance.
what we're putting out to the people is what he just read on the back of
Yeah,
that card.
okay.
That, from a legal standpoint, that's what y'all policy needs to be.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's an ordinance for that as well.
Right.
Okay. That sums it up.
Which is why it's on the back of the card, because y'all passed that ordinance.
All right.
I mean, not y'all, but it was.
So council, you agreed to no late fees and no cutoffs before. So are you restating this and you want to just, like the attorney just reiterated, $35 or more will get cut off?
I mean, I
And
think
the late fees will be reinstated, is that what you're saying?
I definitely think that the late fees should be reinstated because, I mean, we can't reward people for not paying. And when it comes to, I mean, that's a good policy for moving forward. But for the people who are hundreds and thousands of dollars already in arrears, I think we need to establish a policy for that as well.
Well, I don't know. We've sort of got to treat everyone equally. I mean, that gets really tricky legally. I hear what you're saying,
Mhm.
but I mean,
So when
if it was my legal advice is that if there needs to be, I hear what the clerk said that, and I can't remember the details of what y'all passed back in October, but I have no reason to doubt what she's saying. But so, I think it'd be a good idea for someone to make a motion to abide by our existing ordinance and the information that's on the back of the card moving forward. So there's no confusion for anyone.
And reinstate the late fee, because those were taken out. Council?
Well, hang on. Did y'all permanently suspend? No.
No, the only reason
the late fees was only for a certain amount of time, we did say that. We didn't say indefinite, no late fees.
Yeah, the late fees had to do with the postal issue.
Right.
Because people were getting their bills after the due date.
Yeah.
And we was told that it was coming through an Atlanta hub and they were coming late and we couldn't control that. So, you know, we put the due date to like the 30th or something like that.
Back of one of those bills. Thank you.
So, Ms. Miles, since October, we haven't charged late fees, right? Okay. So then, yeah, I would say y'all re-implement late fees with the motion to, if that's what y'all want to do.
And for the matter of oversight, I would like to get March's master billing registry at the end of the month until we get this under control.
Are you the only person that's gonna get that?
Well, I know Mr. Golphin sent it to me. I don't know if he sent it to anyone else, but I have it. It's a lot of information. I will say that. It's a lot, but it's definitely doable.
Okay, you need the motion, council.
For which one?
So y'all are gonna move to abide by the existing ordinance, which is what's listed on the back of the bill, and reinstate late fees moving forward.
My only issue in a matter of fairness with the late fees is those bills are still coming after the due date. And I don't think that part is fair. I think that we should move our due date. It looks like it moved back to you know, if we move the due date back to the end of the month, then I don't have a problem with implementing the late fee. But it's not fair for someone to get their bill on the 21st and it was due on the 20th, and now they gotta pay a $25 late fee. Does that make sense?
But didn't y'all have a
Don't
grace
make sense.
period
Still
before?
want to charge them a late fee.
But the
Well, yeah, what's Miss Ivy, what's the grace period?
It's not their
Bill
fault.
is due on the 31st.
Okay. So they're giving,
Despite that it says on that, you know.
so y'all are giving a
Just
10
like
day
when you pay your
grace
tax,
period
it
right
says
there.
it's due on your birthday. They know their water bill is due on the 20th.
They don't know how much it is though.
They can go online or they can call City Hall and that.
Everybody, I don't.
Why don't y'all just
We're
keep the
not
grace
responsible
period
for
like it
the
is?
Postal service.
What's that, ma'am?
We're not responsible for the postal service.
I agree.
Do y'all wanna not keep the grace period you currently have?
We need them to pay their bill.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all, that's fine. Y'all put in a 10-day grace period. I'm just asking, do y'all wanna keep the grace period or not?
We'll do a grace period, I don't mind that. But then after that, it needs to be enforced. We can't have people with $500 balances just getting free services.
Okay, council, the motion for reinstatement of late fees and to abide by the existing ordinance giving the citizens to the 31st of the month.
And cutting off after those with balances of more than $35.
So basically, we're just enforcing what's on the back of the card.
Correct. While maintaining the grace
While the
period
grace
that
period
currently
for late fees.
exists.
It says all bills are due by the 20th. All bills not paid before the 30th of each month will be charged a penalty of 10%.
So that, yeah,
So it's
that's the good thing. You've got the grace period in there.
So we're just
Yeah.
we're just going off of what we got already on the card.
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, council, the motion.
I make a motion that we enforce the policy, the ordinance that we already have on the back of the water bill.
Second.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? Show of hands. All
I
those in favor?
Make the
Go ahead.
councilwoman-
far as how we view our water bill online, can we look into a different way that our water bill is displayed? When you go online, it just tells you your water bill is $10 and that's it. It gives you your prior payment history, but it doesn't give you like a breakdown of what's on that card. Why can't we get a breakdown of what's on the card online?
That now,
I'm just gonna ask City Hall staff this question. If you, if I get my bill this month and online it says that I only owe the current bill, or does it tell you what you owe for the month of March? I'm just asking.
Online, it'll just say you owe X amount of dollars. It doesn't say your past due is whatever. It doesn't say all of that. It just gives you what you owe. It doesn't say you owe $5 from the previous month and $5 from this month. It just says you owe $10.
Online.
Yeah. And it doesn't
If you do
give
it
you,
online, do you still get a bill if you do it online or not?
yes, you still get a bill. And that's another thing I was gonna say. If you have the breakdown of the bill, like that card, you can opt out to receiving your bill online. Receiving your bill in the mail. Because you see your breakdown.
I would just suggest that might be a different motion and discussion than the one that's currently on the table.
All right, council members, the motion has been made. Is there a second?
I second it, man.
All in favor, show of hands. Councilwoman Kelly, you gotta see your hand. Motion carried. Okay,
I always pay mine online.
Councilman
I
Underwood,
don't have anything.
Councilwoman Kelly.
No, I said, about the audits earlier. I don't have anything else.
Okay, Councilman Dodd.
I don't have anything.
Okay, we need a motion to come out of regular session to go into executive session for,
Real estate.
real estate.
Are there any other matters?
No, we have to
We have to
identify.
identify, yeah, for real estate.
And personnel.
Wicked.
For real estate and personnel. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, show of hands. Motion carried. For the portion for real estate, Ms. Moss, stay in here, you can leave out when it comes to personnel.
Unless the council makes.
That's all it shows. That's all it shows you. Like, what is that? $83 consistent.
Citizens, if y'all would just step out.
Oh, I'm sorry, take it out. No, you have to take it out.